African. Oh wait, hold on. Why is this not working? I don't like that. Hold on. African. Bee! There she is. Oh, there I am. Oh, there she is behind me, guys. I swear, there she is. We got her. We got her here. What did you do? I did it. I've done a lot out here. African Beep, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey.
Okay, on a, okay. Do you like or do you love the new Kanye West T-shirt? Go ahead, African Beep.
Oh, huh.
Do you really like it or do you absolutely love it? Which one?
I think I need a third and a fourth option there.
Why is Kanye West like this, African Beep?
I don't
Why
know.
does he make it hard for us to love him? Like, I don't like what is this? Is this only child syndrome? Is that the problem? He was the
I
only
really
child,
don't know.
so he
I
he
don't know.
he gets
My thoughts and prayers always go in his direction, definitely.
I'm not playing gotcha journalism, all right? All right? This is not gotcha journalism. This is just a silly question. But I mean, when you look at this, what comes to mind? What feelings come to mind when you see that this is what Kanye's doing again? And I don't know. How do you feel about this?
For real, I'm not really surprised.
Yeah, me
Like,
neither.
this is many years of not being able to explain his actions, so or understand his actions. So I don't know. None of it really surprises me anymore,
Yeah.
to be honest.
No, it doesn't me either. And I don't know. Do you think he means ill will with this? Do you think that there's some sort of some kind of malice behind this shirt?
I really don't know.
Yeah, it's
I
hard to
don't know.
tell, huh?
Yeah, I feel like he's really one where you've got to know what's going on in his head,
Mm,
you know?
yeah,
And it may be like yep, exactly what you see is what you get. But it also might be, nope, I actually mean something else and I don't have to explain it to anybody.
are you
Yeah,
a fan of Kanye West?
not really.
Was there any
Uh,
time in your life where you were like, "Oh, I like this song. It's not bad."
oh, yeah, yeah, he definitely has hits. I think
Yeah.
if there's anything I feel like a lot of people agree on with him is that he is talented. Like,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
no matter what,
Yeah.
he is talented no matter what else is going on, you know?
Yeah, I think you're right about that, and a lot of people don't like to call him a genius, but I do think he's a
Mhm,
genius in a lot of
mhm,
ways, and he's I think he's a master, and
mhm,
Trump is this too, is a master at manipulating media. And
mhm.
and I'm not trying to stick up for Trump because I am not a fan of fucking Donald Trump. But I can recognize that he has a talent of working the media to his favor. I mean, he worked the media to his favor so much that he got elected president, right?
Mhm.
So like I see the same thing in him. I'm not saying it's a good trait or bad trait. I'm just saying that he has this down.
Mhm.
And this is trending, number one trending on Twitter right now.
Wow.
People are gonna go and look at this, people are gonna comment on it, and then you know what? People are gonna buy it. People are gonna
Yeah.
buy it. Just like they bought Donda 2 on his stupid little player. And like people are gonna buy it. And he's gonna get the results that he wants out of this. I think that's genius. I mean, he's just a
Wow.
master manipulator. I don't, but it's also, what I don't like about it, that I feel like it's seeding division. And
Mhm.
that's the thing that I'm looking at here. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's obvious that he knows what people might think when they see that. But as I said, I have no clue what his actual intentions are because I just find him so hard to understand, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. And to sit here and speculate what's going through his mind is moot,
Yeah,
right?
it's all speculation.
Right,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
exactly it.
Yeah, it's but I have this lingering and weird obsession with Kanye West that it might be unhealthy. because I'm just gonna support whatever he does. Not even if I don't agree with everything that he does. I'm just like I'm supporting it. I don't care.
I take it you're a Kanye West music fan.
I love Kanye West.
Great.
He's just a fantastic artist, and I don't mind most of the things that he's done. I'm not a fan of Trump, and when he went on MAGA at the time, I was just like, what the fuck is going on? But as I saw things progressing and saw his behavior and then recognized what he was doing, I was like, oh, he's just somebody who fucking wants to sell more stuff and make more money. And he's like, you know what would really get attention? Because you
Wow.
can't cancel his ass at this point. It's like, he's not going anywhere. It's fucking Kanye. He's gonna show up at your front porch. He's weird. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't care. So the biggest thing I respect. Okay, I'm sorry that I'm gushing over Kanye. I brought you on my show just to gush over Kanye West under such weird pretenses, but it.
Just go ahead, just get it out.
Yeah, I'm
Get it
just gonna
out.
get it out, and so we can continue our conversation, have a normal conversation about you and your music.
Oh, and by the way, if you see me looking over here, I keep looking at chat.
Right now,
That's
yeah,
what it
please feel free to interact as well. If you see things that you see,
yeah, I'm gonna
we
take a
can
look.
jump around. It's not, it's just, I don't know. Kanye West is, he's just an enigma, you know, and he's just wild, and he is bipolar. In any case, African Beep, welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Good to be here.
And we have a question from the chat, which I'll get right to because why not? How do you feel about waxed legs? Morby wants to know how you feel about waxed legs.
Am I being asked about this because you said something about your legs being waxed?
Nope. Morby
Is this
brought it up.
your fault, Mike, that this question is being asked?
It is my fault that this question is being asked, but it is not my fault that Morby asked
When
it.
someone asks, how do I feel about them? I don't. I think it would be weird to say that I have feelings about them.
Well, I mean, you could be like, I hate
Am
waxing
I
my
am
legs
I
because it
for
hurts.
that or not? I don't know. I don't have any.
You don't
I
have
don't know.
any opinion on
It's
wax?
not my preferred. It's not my
Gotcha.
preferred way. So,
And you've done
you
it
know,
before, though. You've waxed
kudos
them.
to actually no.
You've never
So
waxed.
kudos to you.
Oh, well, that was my first time. And I will admit, I'll never do that shit again. Well,
Yeah.
if they give me enough
See,
subs, of course,
not
maybe.
encouraged now.
You know what, though? I'd rather rip hair out of my legs and
Uh,
my arms.
it was that bad.
Yes, it's horrible. It's
Oh
terrible.
wow.
I'd rather do that than eat those awful jelly beans that have you seen people do that before where they're eating those it's like a game that they play. It's an actual game and it's made from the people, I think they're jelly bellies, but it's like a game it's a game and they have a jelly bean that tastes like ice cream, and then they make one that looks exactly the same that's like white or something and has little blue specks in it that tastes like dishwater or vomit or
Do you know what that
boogers.
reminds me of? Isn't that like, aren't those like the Harry Potter jelly beans? Remember when they used to make those? I don't know if they
Bean
still
Boozled.
do.
Do they make
It,
them? They might
yeah,
make them.
it was the same thing. You get them in the little box, and
Naders
it was
is
the
eating them
same.
right now. Oh gosh. Oh yes. I can always be bought, Robbie. That is true. I am a slut. You can buy me. I am a prostitute. I am a
Oh
prostitute,
my
and you
gosh.
can whore me out. I'm
Good to
so,
hear you speak so highly of yourself there.
well. I mean, it's true in one sense. As a musician, okay, I will say, calm down, Brendan. It's okay. We're still here. We're as a musician, you kind of are pimped out sometimes. You know, especially at the beginning of your career, you can get really pimped out very easily because you don't know what's going on. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, and when I was playing out regularly, I don't know why that's hard for me to say. We speak English good. We when I was playing out a lot around town here and in San Diego, you know, I would call myself a musical prostitute because if you're playing, if you're paying, I'm playing. It's like you got the money. I don't care what kind of music it is. Let's go, you know, because that's how I made my money. So it wasn't bad, but it is a hustle. It is you know, you do got to put yourself out there. You do got to, you know,
I don't
walk
mean
the.
to turn the interview on you, but I do have a question for you now that you're saying that.
Sure, let's go.
But yeah,
So far, it doesn't feel like an interview. It feels like I'm just like yelling
you're just
things
talking.
fastly, like really fast at you. Like I'm just like, "Blah, blah, blah, blah." I'm gonna back it off a little bit because I know my energy could just be awful and just towering. So like, let's
It's
just
fine.
take a couple breaths and go ahead, please ask your question.
But yeah, I was gonna say doing music like that though, I know it paid bills, but how did it make you feel about actual music then? Because that didn't sound like you were getting to play exactly what you wanted to play.
I did actually. I was a part of. I was like, I think at one time like 7 or 8 bands like in San Diego.
Wow.
Um, so a couple of those bands I actually really like playing with. So for me, it was just when I got to play like with me and my wife, we play together and
Oh,
we
that's
play
cool.
music that we write. And then I'd play like with a reggae band and stuff, and I really had fun doing all that stuff. But then there'd be other gigs where it's like it's just entertaining
Mhm.
travelers, or what do you call them, tourists, because San
Mhm.
Diego is like a touristy place.
Mhm.
So we had a lot of places to play just to entertain tourists, playing top 40 or whatever. So
Yeah, okay.
for me personally, I love that
Okay.
because it's better than sitting in a cubicle, because that's prison for
Mm.
me. So, oh my God, Morgana, you resubscribed. Holy shit, 8 months. Morgana, thank you so much
Um,
for resubscribing. I'm sorry I missed that, my friend. Thank you so much. Mwah. Kisses, kisses. Nope, she is safe from the butt slut. Okay. You guys are talking. They're talking about us being butt slugs, butt sluts. Anyways, I would love to know, and we're just gonna brush right over butt sluts and move forward. I want
no
to know,
problem.
how did you get started in music? Like where did that come from?
Mm. Well, music was always a common thing in my family. Like I grew up, all my siblings can sing, and my mom can sing. Um, we all just grew up singing, doing harmony, just being silly, dancing around the house. It was a very musical house.
Hmm.
So that's always been the norm. In terms of wanting to do it professionally, that's very recent. It
Hmm.
was a childhood dream that was just like, oh, one day I'm gonna be like a pop star, and that I grew out of. But more recently, music just kind of came back to me without me asking it to, and it kind of is going back to what you were saying about a cubicle feeling like a prison.
Hmm.
I I left my office job, and
Hmm.
literally the day after, music started pouring out of me, almost like the office job had been in the way
Oh yeah.
of music.
Hmm.
So that was just back in 2020, so it hasn't been long. So
Hmm. Yeah.
that's kind of like
What
how I
was
was.
so like
Yeah, go
in the
ahead.
like the pandemic sort of did that sort of spawn these ideas and
Well,
reignited these flames?
that was I think that was like 2 to 3 months before
Oh.
the pandemic. So I
Oh,
I kind
nice.
of was almost like I say I was in quarantine before everybody else got in with me, because I was just at home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're like, this is what I'm doing now.
Yeah,
So wait a
yeah,
second. So music started pouring out of you, and you said this is a few months before the pandemic.
yeah.
And so you quit your job and was like, I'm just gonna write music now? Or like, how did that work?
It Well, I'm married, so I wasn't broke. I wasn't. I still,
Yeah,
I was good. I saved up. I was
yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was just I just wasn't happy at the job. So that was actually a whole separate thing. I didn't
Hmm.
leave that job to create music. I
I got
left
you.
it thinking, okay, let's see what else we can do.
Hmm.
And then like the very next morning after my last day, I started hearing like song lyrics and melodies, and I got on the piano and just started writing song after song, and was trying to push it away. I was like, okay, this is off point. I'm trying to apply for jobs right now. Okay. So it was like it was very right. It literally music interrupted my life. And that's why I'm here. So,
It interrupted your life.
mhm.
That's funny. That's amazing too. I absolutely love that. And it was enough to where you were feeling like you should be pursuing music over even applying for jobs and stuff, because there was some sort of pull.
Mhm.
it's those pulls that you gotta listen to that, man. Like it took me a
Yeah.
really long time to listen to those feelings, whereas it's
Mm.
like there's something happening right now, and I need to go capture it, or else it's gonna be gone
Yeah.
forever.
Hmm.
Um, you write original music, and
Hmm.
on your stream you do mostly originals, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. What was your decision to do just originals or mostly originals?
Oh, well, it's never been the norm for me to sing covers. Like, not that I've been singing my song in the house. I'm
Yeah.
always like, I don't know. I have a strange relationship with music in general. So I have periods where I don't really listen to music, then I have periods
Mm.
where I listen to a lot of it, and that it goes back and forth. So I'm always like singing random covers and stuff, but I've never been one who's like, I want to perform a cover,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
So when all the originals came to me and then I decided to get on Twitch at first when I was looking around because a lot of people do covers and they do like maybe a few of their originals.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have any covers that I enjoy performing. Like there are a lot I enjoy listening to, but I was like, I've been singing my own songs in the house a lot. So maybe go with that, I guess, and see how it goes. So
Yeah.
that's how my song list is kind of the opposite, where I have mostly originals and I have like, I'm building my cover list now.
Yeah,
So
I like that though. I really do like that, and that you just sort of, you know, you're only really interested in playing what you create,
yeah.
and you know you're building a community around that, which is great because uh, it's cool when you see these music streamers, they're here on Twitch and they're playing covers, and they build up this big following, and they got a great stream going on, a really active chat or whatever. But um, it's just so strange to me when you see these really, really popular streamers who have like zero originals,
Mhm.
no music out online, which I'm not. That's not a deal breaker for me, but like it's just interesting to see that kind of musician, and they're pouring all this energy into other people's music.
Mm.
I guess that's the bigger point here, is that they're pouring all this energy, building up their repertoire, building up this repertoire of other people's music, just to, for what? For to entertain people to come see them play other people's music. I like
Mm.
that, and I think it's cool, and you can do that, but I don't understand why you wouldn't want to like do more originals, and
Mm.
try to like, because you want to use this platform to propel you into other things as well, because
Mm.
Twitch is really good for directing people to different places and
Yeah.
different platforms, and it's really good. Like a great example is Reina, my wife, who had like zero plays on her Spotify, and then
I'm
after
so sorry. Did you say Is that Reina Mystique?
yes,
Reina Mystique is your wife?
it is. Oh my god, I'm sorry, baby.
What?
She is my
I kn-
wife.
I know her. Like,
Yeah.
I've been on her page before. I can't believe this.
Oh
Because
yeah.
you were just like Reina. I was like, oh, I saw Reina Mystique. She's his mod. That couldn't be the same person, right? I
It
did
is.
not know
It
that.
is
That's
the
very
same
cool.
person.
Hi,
Yeah,
Reina.
yeah. Everyone's musical goals and journey are different. Not everyone wants to do original, and I understand that. But I'm just saying that like it's interesting to me that people want to use. They'll build a big platform on this on Twitch, and then all of a sudden, or just not be interested in doing anything else. And it's just
Mhm.
weird to me because I don't know. I'm a writer, so
Mm.
but
No,
it's
I
nothing
completely
right or
get you.
wrong about that. You know what I mean? It's just interesting to me because I'm that person. But
I wonder though, like, and let me know if I'm cutting you off here.
no, please
Sometimes I
cut me
feel like,
off. Please cut me off. No one wants. They hear me talk all the time. We want to hear you.
but I do wonder, like, because I feel like, okay, one thing with that, because at first I was thinking the same thing, because I do go into a lot of music streamers streams looking at their list and looking for an original song,
Hmm.
because I feel like a lot of times an original song does showcase your own personal style a lot more.
Hmm.
So, and I do know there are a lot of people, as you said, who don't have originals, and not every singer is a writer, and that's something I had to think about. If you think of Whitney Houston,
Right.
one of the best singers in the world, she didn't write her songs and she didn't care to.
Right.
So it may be a case. I feel like in that sense, there's still that opportunity that some record company, somebody could hear you
Yeah.
and go, that voice could go with this person's
Right.
songs, you know? So there's still, I feel like, yeah, there still is that opportunity. I'm coming from a completely different place because I'm very much like, I want to be in the whole creative process, but that's just my personality, my style. There's some people who I understand they don't really care to. They just want to sing, you know, so which I get and I respect, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and again, I'm not trying to disparage anybody who makes that
Yeah, I don't
decision.
think you're
Some people just want to hang out in their room and play on the internet, play other people's songs on the internet, and that's totally cool. I
mhm.
think that's amazing, you know, like, and it's what's really cool about Twitch too, in that vein, is that you have a lot of people like yourself who are like, man, I've wanted to do music my whole life, and then I had this opportunity, I found Twitch, and like, you know, yeah, I don't have to, all I have to do is turn on my computer, turn on the lights, and start playing, and you know, like, I don't have to go out, and it's very nice for people who want to just play, be bedroom players, but also want to
Yeah.
share their talent with the world.
Yeah.
Because playing in the real world is like, I mean, going out to bars and, you know, lugging your equipment around, and it's kind of a drag, man. it's kind of it's a it's a drag. Have you ever done any like live gigging or anything like that?
I Let me see. For my own music, no, I missed the time because by the time I had songs, everybody was in quarantine. So I actually got to do one performance. It was at the beginning of March when quarantine was just now starting up for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably one of the last like group things I was in before quarantine, got serious. But yeah, it was me and my sister at a cafe here. And it was a cafe where she had performed. My younger sister, she had performed a couple of times before, so we did like a joint performance. And I was glad to have her there because I realized like singing a cover or singing like in church, so it's like still music written by somebody else. That's for me that was so much easier than actually singing my own songs in
Mm-hmm.
front of people because I didn't realize. I've just recently learned that my music is very vulnerable, so it's so
Yeah.
yeah, but I haven't gotten to do it as much as I would like or perform my own songs face to face with people, but I would love to because now
Mm-hmm.
that I'm comfortable with how vulnerable it is, I would love to actually look at faces and see like, is everybody else feeling this?
Yeah. No, it is nice, and you know, it is awesome to see people like throwing emotes and the nice things that they say, but
Mhm.
there is, no matter how you put it, there is a block between us and
Mhm.
them.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're out in the real, you know, in a bar or a cafe or wherever you're playing, in
Mhm.
a club playing somewhere, you are face to face. You're looking at them. You're seeing the responses. You could feel the
Yeah. You can
energy.
feel it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can feel the energy through the chat too. Because I've definitely been in some hot chats where things are going wild and like everybody's having fun, and like
Mhm.
you get it. It's just not the exact same at all. It's just, I mean, it is, but it isn't. So it's just, I feel like it's a little bit of just a sterilized version of it, which still
Yeah.
love it. It's just, it's different.
Yeah.
In any case, yeah, seeing people in real time reacting is very actually informative for the artist because you want to
Mhm.
see how your music affects people.
Yeah. That
And
is the closest thing I've had to that was I was the music leader at the youth section of my church.
hmm,
And that was a tough crowd because it's like, the adults are like, yeah, let's come in, let's have,
yeah,
we're here for God and everything. But the kids are like, oh, our parents dragged us in here. So it was really like, it was really what's it called? It was really good experience for me to get more confident being on a stage.
yeah,
So that was a place where I learned how to read the energy of a crowd
yeah,
and basically how to be able to say, okay, are people bored? Like, and just learning how to do stuff on the fly, wing it, let the music play. Everybody stop singing. I'm going to talk to the crowd a little. I'm going to
uh,
get them involved. Like, it's kind of interesting, but it was kind of like a little bit of a training crowd of a
yeah,
training ground for it.
yeah.
So, but
Oh
yeah, that
yeah.
was the closest I've had to it. And I do miss that. I'd love to be able to do that with my own music because I have
Hmm.
like I have songs where I could get people more involved, but it's like, you know, it's not quite the same atmosphere when I'm sitting in my living room. I'm technically by myself,
Right.
technically,
Right. Right.
but it's like I gotta really, you know, get into the chat, and that took some getting used to. It's like the emote claps. Someone once asked me, they were like, "Oh, that how did you?" Because I did something else on Twitch. I did like a singer songwriter showcase, and the other singer songwriters would clap. They'd unmute and clap. And someone asked me, "How did that feel weird having them clap?" I said, "That feels normal, like being able to
Yeah.
hear
Yeah.
the sound."
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. In the church, was it what type of music was it? Like worship and praise? Was it gospel? Was it what were
yeah,
you?
it was a mix of different
Mm-hmm.
kinds. We had some gospel, we had some like contemporary Christian. We had
Mm-hmm.
like, because we were working with the youth, we got to do a lot more I mean, well, we did that in the adult church too, but we got to do a lot more of the music you can dance to,
Mm-hmm.
music you can jump around to,
Right.
music you can, so that was very cool
Yeah.
to get to do.
Heck yeah. No, I had a really awesome experience. I played for a couple months with this Baptist church here in Toledo.
Oh,
I only stopped because I moved to California, and
mhm.
like you said, for me it was boot camp, and for
Mhm.
me it was boot camp because it was learning a style of music that is like so complicated
Mhm. Yeah.
and like it's very intricate,
Mhm.
and at any moment it can be played in a different key that you practice it in,
Oh my
because that's
gosh,
just
I
how it
so
works.
get you. I've experienced the same thing.
Because you can't control what key the bishop is going to start hooping in, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you don't know.
Oh my
So you
gosh.
gotta like figure it out, and like so our MD would, our music director would be like turn the organ way down and go do 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 do
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
C sharp, C sharp, let's go.
Oh my gosh, I had this like such similar experiences because I would play piano too, like as like kind of like a backup for like because the church I was going to was like a bigger church,
Mhm.
so I'd play like backup, like if one of the keyboardists wouldn't be able to come in, so I'd have a situation of like, and it would be gospel music, like specific. It always seemed like they were specifically doing some of the hardest songs when I had to fill in, and gospel music, playing the key instrumentals on gospel music are no joke.
It
So
is,
it's like I'm cramming some crazy stuff overnight, like
yeah.
Saturday night to do on Sunday. And I'm like, I played great on Sunday. Ask me what I played on Monday. I don't remember because I crammed it. So,
All in. It's all in. Yeah, it's a wild thing to try to like really wrap your head around, and I feel like it's it's probably harder for somebody like myself who's self-taught, who didn't come up in that environment, because when you come up in that environment, I mean, you've probably seen this, but you see like a 4-year-old just slamming the drums like like an old
yeah.
pro, you know what I mean? Just,
Yeah.
so it's just like, ah, man, like I
Yeah.
really do feel like it's such an awesome place for musicians, the church, and I'm talking specifically now,
Yeah.
like the Baptist church, or where gospel is being played and stuff,
Mhm.
and you have these complicated chord structures.
Yep.
It's music. It's not just like R&B and gospel. It's rock. It's
Mhm.
it can be operatic at times. It can be,
Yeah.
it can jazz. It's all these different genres sort of stacked on top of each other, and so you get like such a great feel and an overall um good player out of it. But
Mhm.
then I also notice, like anything else, that could be sort of a trap where you'll have players that come out of the church who might not know how to read music or don't know much about
Yeah.
theory, have great ears, right?
Mhm.
Just the
Mhm.
best ears you could find,
Yeah.
because, obviously they got to find keys every Sunday. So, but then also like you'll like I've seen this happen a few times where you'll have like maybe a church keyboardist, and they'll try to sit in with like a rock band, and you have all these like extension chords, just to play. It's just 4 chords, bro. We just need E A G C. Let's go. It's nothing. And there's no extensions. It's just rock music.
Yes.
And so it
You're
can,
just so used to it, yeah.
yeah, yeah, which you gotta love, but I feel like it's such a it's almost an unfair advantage
Mm.
that musicians who come up in the church get, which is it is fair, obviously, but it's just when I came up
I
in
know what
I
you
came up in Catholic church, so
mean.
it's Ricola, stupid joke, but it's still it's not very exciting, and I don't know. I really dug those times being a part of that church and really learning how to jam out with those cats,
Yeah,
man, because man, they're so good. They're still good. They're
yeah,
still just
yeah.
killers. They're just still killers. um
Especially like a lot of the improv stuff too, because that's an area that used to frighten me. The
yes.
idea of, oh, just improv, just play whatever. I'm like, please don't do the thing where you say, okay, now the basis, okay, now the, because you're gonna say now the keys, and there's gonna be nobody sitting in the chair. So
I'm gonna leave. Oh yeah, they would do that to me so much. Oh man, but I would always get made fun of a little bit. I'll just get a little bit of razzing from like when we go visit other churches and stuff. And
mhm.
then I'd play, and then I'd get the head nod, and I'm just like, yeah, that's right. Watch out. But I mean, it's such a great way to learn, and I mean, it's difficult, but it's I think it's like learning how to swim by just being thrown into the pool,
Yeah.
right? Go
Yes.
ahead now, survive. Uh,
Yes, it is.
when did you start playing piano?
When did I start playing piano? Always. I wanted to be classically trained as a child and just didn't get that opportunity. So I think when I was 16, well, we always had a keyboard. So like
Mhm.
everybody would just, you go and play happy birthday on the keyboard, that sort of thing. So I could always do that and just by ear find little stuff. And you think you're just doing what, this is what everybody does that, right? But
Right.
really that's the beginning of ear training, and you think about it. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess I just started to do that a little more for a lot of songs. And probably when I was 16, I think is when I started getting more serious. It was from church again. It was church in Nigeria. So I
Ooh.
can't remember exactly when it started, but they needed a keyboard player because it was like a new youth group. So they didn't have like musicians and stuff like that. So yeah, so they asked me to play. So I was pretty much just by ear figuring out things little by little. So probably, yeah, that's when I got serious or a little more serious about trying to play.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
yeah,
in high school, you're like, I'm gonna try this.
yeah, just a
Mm.
a tiny bit. It was just
Mhm.
something I
How was
I
your
did
hi
here.
Did you like high school? Did you enjoy going to high school?
Yeah,
Did
yeah, I did. Oh, and that I just remembered somebody. Who was it? Somebody asked me in the chat, "What part of the world am I?"
Oh yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
thought you asked
Robbie
me where I
did.
was from. Okay,
Yeah, he's like,
I'm
what did he miss
okay.
it? No,
Yo,
no.
yeah, I'm in Alabama, by the way.
Mm.
But yeah, high because I was gonna say I'm originally from Nigeria, but yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's cool.
Mhm.
Wait a. When did you come to the States then?
Gosh, I moved here. How many years is it now? It's over a decade now.
Oh
My
wow.
mom, yeah, my mom is from here, and my dad is from Nigeria. So he went to school in America, and that's how they met in university. And then we moved back. Then they moved back to Nigeria. So I spent my whole childhood there. And
Wow.
kind of like at the very end of my childhood, we moved back here.
What
My one by one, kind of my all my siblings moved too, and came back to America.
wow. That's
Mhm.
wild. So you
Mhm.
remember all of that then. You have
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
memories.
Mhm.
What was it like growing up in Nigeria? Like I'm curious. I I I know very
It,
little about Nigeria.
no, it was interesting. I'm just now realizing as an adult what it means to have lived in a third world country.
Yeah.
There are just some things that weren't right that I lived with. They were just my norm and I didn't think about it.
Mm.
Um like government was constantly unstable, like there was like, oh, they had a coup, oh, now we have a new president, oh, what's his name, like that's just the
Wow.
norm.
Wow.
So you don't know what the country's gonna be like from day to day,
Wow.
but that's just, you just somehow are all right with that.
Do you think that that sowed some kind of unnerving throughout the culture in the city that you grew up or in the country? Like,
You mean like,
do you think there was like do you think that that causes some kind of anxiety within people where there's just unstable governments, or do you think that the government was so like beyond the situation people are in that it
mm,
didn't even matter to them because I'm hungry now, or I still have to go to work. I still have to,
mm,
go do this. I still have to pay somebody to do something, like, I don't
that is
know.
a very good question, because it actually both.
Mm,
The former, though, people don't notice because the
nah,
culture is so, everybody's so hard. Everybody's so, exactly what you said. I still have to go to work. Why am I,
yeah,
so what? That happened over there.
right.
It's like, it's gonna end up affecting me, yeah, whatever. But I still have to keep, feeding my children. I still
Yes.
have to I
Yeah.
still have to go to school. I still have to, for a lot of people too, is the, I still have to keep working so I can move out of this country. So I can't be paying attention to whatever
Yeah.
problem the government has right now. But at the same time, I do believe there is a sense of, um, just all of us growing up with certain traumas that we don't realize are
Mm,
traumas because we're so, hey, everybody's so used to it, so
yeah.
that's, there are probably a lot of people with anxiety and don't know what it is, because
Right.
I feel like that was something that happened to me, that happened to a lot of people I know,
Hmm.
who, it's like you leave the country and you're like, wait a minute, we weren't okay, guys. But, you know
None of that was okay.
none of it was okay. Like, I still, because my husband is American, so like full American, so we still have conversations. Not as much now because I'm more aware of myself, but we've had a lot of conversations where I'll tell him, "Oh yeah, I saw this happen on the street," and
Yeah.
he'd be like, "And where were the police?" I'm like, "Oh, well, that's a whole other story." Like,
And where
and
were
he's
the
like,
authorities?
yeah, he's like, that's not okay. You do realize that that's, are you okay? Like, that's not
Right,
okay.
right, right.
So yeah, it was a strange life. Like, it felt so normal. I don't think I thought about whether or not I was safe.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's a third world country, so you're kind of not, like, in
Right.
many ways. To have such an unstable government is, it's a very scary thing, but as a child, I just didn't think anything of it because
Yeah.
that's just always how it was.
Yeah, it's like when you're
Yeah.
a kid, just think this is just how things are, right?
Yeah.
Like, I grew up, I grew up, relatively poor,
Mm,
for American standards, I guess.
mm,
And I didn't think that until
mhm,
until it was said to me. It's like we're
mm.
poor, and it's like, oh, and we never been like poor or broke, and like our Christmases were always nice, and
Mhm,
I was very fortunate to have parents who both worked their asses off and made sure that we were
mhm,
taken care of, but we did not have a lot of money. And
mhm.
so, you don't really notice these things when you're growing up. And, I can't even imagine, your perspective on life coming up in a third world country because, that's not my experience. But it is something that is pretty universal where kids just sort of go with the flow. It's
Yeah.
a war torn nation and they're still out playing in the mud
Playing, yeah.
puddle, like,
Yeah.
and still crying because they stubbed their toe or something, and
Mhm.
they're just kids, and horrors around them at all times. But that's just
Yeah.
Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
no, it's wild. When I used to live in San Diego, we used to go down to Tijuana, and we were going down to buy drugs, but we would also stay for the entertainment. But it was always such a sad scenario because you go down there and you're literally just over the border, 15 minutes away from my house where I live. There's just like abject poverty everywhere, and there's
Mhm.
shanty towns, and we would go and my friends had made friends with people down there, so we would go down there and we'd be in the neighborhoods, and it would just be like,
Wow.
it's shanty neighborhoods, and it's houses built on dirt, and I mean
Mhm.
everybody's houses are built on dirt, I guess, but I'm saying like dirt floors,
Yeah, I get you.
and a hodgepodge of different doors and roof systems and
Mhm.
metals, and like here's a hood of a car is like the sealing up this window now. So
Wow.
it's like I mean that shit's real, man. And but you still
Yeah.
see kids out playing soccer
Mhm.
and chicle. No, don't want no fucking chicle. But but it's still yeah, man. I don't think most people in America understand what that is.
Mm.
Did you have a hard time assimilating with our culture once you got here in American culture?
Hmm. I don't, let me see. It's a hard question because I feel like I've been around so many different mixes of culture.
Hmm.
Let me see. Well, I don't think you'd mind me taking it here, but
No.
I guess one of the strangest things, because when I got here, the what's it called? I can't think of what the words, my transcripts or whatever from high school,
Yes.
they were having trouble like transferring them here for some reason.
Oh yeah.
Just sometimes in Nigeria, just things don't, go well. So
This doesn't
we're
go
having
through.
trouble with that. So
Yeah.
I had to do the GED again, take the GED again here
Mm.
just to replace that. So
Wow.
um I went to a place to take them, and because I'm in the South, right?
Yeah.
So there were like a bunch of like white kids over here, there were a bunch of Asian kids over here, and then there was like maybe two other black people, two of the girls.
Mm.
And I remember I went into to sit at the desk because everybody was taking the test. They were sitting down, and I saw a mirror somewhere. And when I saw myself in the mirror, I thought, "Oh my gosh, I'm black." And it's just you don't think about that when
Yeah.
you grow up in a country where everybody's black. You know,
Right. Yeah.
everybody's black. And then like when any foreigner would come, everybody was just like excited, like, okay, who's this person? What country they, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like the concept of segregation, racism, all of that, that's something that actually is new to me.
Wow.
So that was something that when people are like, oh yeah, I've had these kinds of experiences, I was like, really? Like
Yeah.
that was the part.
Yeah.
The actual like culture, like I guess there was like your basic culture shock of getting used to like there were good culture shock things like, oh my gosh, when I dial 911, someone's gonna answer, so good things like that. But
The electricity is stable. Yay.
oh, that's a big one actually. So
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to, but
no,
it hit on
that is a
something.
good example
Yeah.
because like the lights would cut out and it's like, for like a few moments and I'm just like I look around like, wait a minute. That's not supposed to happen in this country.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Like if there's a storm going on and the lights go off, it's like, no,
yeah. I'm
not
like,
now.
no, I've done my time with this. We are
Yeah.
not bringing this to my experiences here. So,
I left
but
those
yeah,
days behind me. Yeah,
yeah.
no, that did occur to me too because I've heard other people who come to this country from other countries, or black and brown people who come here and it was like it was never an issue for me, and they don't harbor the same kind of animosity
Mhm,
towards society and culture and or white people.
mhm.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's just when you come, it's just not that. It's just not like that there because you
Mhm.
obviously everyone's black, and
Yeah.
and it's very interesting too how like because my wife's brother he's trying to get to Africa. He's trying to
Wow.
get there. So like
Yeah.
and because he had the American experience where he had he's a gang member, prison,
Mhm,
prison system, like
mhm,
experiencing the prison system, and then coming out of it, and finding Islam and this whole experience for him. Um, he's just like I just need to get out of here and I need to go
mhm,
somewhere where I see more people like me because like this
mhm.
is not working for me. And
Wow.
so he's actually moving here to Ohio from San Diego, And
Oh,
it's
cool.
interesting to see when the family comes out here. It's like there there's a lot more people of color here
Mhm.
around, just
Hmm.
out in the open.
Yeah.
unlike San unlike San Diego, where they keep them off into the distance. You know what I mean?
Wow.
San Diego's a very segregated city, even though it's
Mm.
very much it's a very much a big melting pot, but it is very segregated in how
Wow.
it's structured, which you'll find in most cities here in America. But
Mhm.
the like them coming here even and seeing just black people everywhere, doing, just out and
Yeah.
about and stuff. It was something that they didn't expect and they hadn't seen before.
Wow.
And to my sister's brother, that's one step closer to Africa in his eyes, because you
Mm.
can come here,
Wow.
be around more black people, save money because it's cheaper here, and
Mhm.
then take it and as a stepping stone to Africa. And it's just, it's
Wow.
crazy the experience that Americans have compared to other places, So I don't
And
know.
really, even in comparison to other Americans.
Yeah, exactly,
Uh,
exactly.
Yeah.
So have you in these 10 years or this decade that you've been here, have you been involved in any of these sort of movements that's been happening here, like BLM, for example, and all that stuff? Have you taken notice? I'm not saying you're out in the streets or anything, and
Mhm.
if you were, I'd love to know that too. But have you taken on to that cause? Have you sort of do you see yourself taking that cause? Have you seen yourself in those shoes before? I mean, have you, I mean, like, I don't know if I'm explaining myself right, but
No, I think I understand what you're saying.
okay, have you, please?
So my lack of awareness of just the things that weren't going well with this country
Mm-hmm.
um, only more recently ended.
Hmm.
I was actually really shocked to find out that, especially on the side of racism, that things were still as bad as they are.
Hmm.
Because maybe it's the way I'm raised, but it doesn't make sense to me to dislike somebody for technically it's no reason,
It's the
you
dumbest
know?
thing. It's so dumb.
So, so I've just more recently become more aware of
Hmm.
how bad it is. So it's kind of interesting to be black and be learning about racism,
Yeah.
so because I don't share a lot of the experiences.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of friends or a lot of other people I know share, like people getting stopped by the police. I didn't know.
Hmm.
I didn't know about that,
Yeah.
until more like these last few years, really. So I'm very much one who I sit back and I listen and I learn and I do ask questions, and thankfully I'm around people who aren't offended by me asking questions because I
Yeah.
sincerely don't know. I haven't been here.
Yeah.
Where I was, we had a whole different set of problems. so
Yeah.
so it's not, I'm not really, with any movement in that sense because
Hmm.
I feel like I'm just trying to learn.
Hmm.
I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to figure out what's going on, where all of this come from and where all this came from. It definitely shouldn't still be here.
Yeah.
That I know. But yeah, so I'm not out on the streets because I'm like I'm still learning why.
Yeah.
I'm still learning, So I don't think it's difficult for me to see like, okay, we're treating each other wrong. I don't
Yeah.
think that's a hard thing to see for
Right.
at least it isn't for me.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not like to your question, I'm not really with any movement for that.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. You answered that great. And sorry, my tongue is so clumsy, but we
no, you're
we
fine.
we got there. We got there. Is there like in Mexico? I've spent some time in Mexico. My mom's from
Oh,
there,
cool.
and like we have property down there and stuff. So, as a kid, we spent some time down there, and but one of the things that I did notice is like there's sort of this weird caste system where the darker you are in
Mhm.
Mexico, the more that you're almost the lighter. There's like this dynamic playing out too in
Oh, there is.
Mexico where there's the lighters feel like they're better than the darkers, and it's so stupid. Like it, it's like
That's what colorism is, right?
yeah, I
If I'm
think
not
yes,
mistaken.
yes, exactly, yes. You're like I'm learning, I'm learning.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is actually, I mean, it's kind of cool and beautiful in a way that you have never had to really experience that kind of thing in your life, although you've experienced other horrors, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's a
So
different kind of
yeah,
horror.
different kind of horrors. But um, I don't know. Is there kind of like a caste system in Africa, like or Nigeria, like that, where like the lighter skinned people, or I mean, because I know you said everyone's black, but I
Mhm.
don't know if they would differentiate with lighter shades or not.
So I was told that there was.
Mm.
So because I was really a teenager up until I think I was like 19 when I left. So
Wow.
um I was told I think later, just speaking to my friends, my best friend, she's full Nigerian. I grew up with her.
Mm.
So I've gotten to talk to her about stuff like this before. She even told me because I said this same comment to her of oh yeah, that we didn't have anything like racism. Everybody was black. That and then if somebody white came, we were all like excited, like, oh wow, who's this person? Where are they from?
Yeah.
And she explained to me, she said, well, it's almost like a reverse racism thing you can see there because it's like she said people being trained to see themselves as less than someone who is white or
Yeah.
less. So that's I would say she was saying that for some Nigerians that that's where that came from. For me, it was, hey, I love to travel. Hey, I want to hear about your country. I'm
Yeah.
already half, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm already literally African American,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me, that's where it was coming from. So I just assumed because, I was a kid, a teenager, I just assumed that's where we were all, that's
Yeah.
where it came from for everybody. But she explained that to me.
Hmm.
And the thing about colorism, I feel like I did see that a little bit. Like, when you're in high school, seeing like the light skinned girls or boys being more popular, but
Hmm.
it's not really something I would say I noticed that much because, like, when I look through the list of popular kids, like, there were some pretty dark kids on that list too.
Yeah, I
So,
mean there has
I,
to be, right? Like
so
it can't all
I
be
would,
light skinned mixed kids, right? It's freaking Nigeria.
yeah. So, like, it was difficult for me to notice, but now being out of it and also
Hmm.
talking to other Nigerians, it was present there,
Hmm.
and I know like it's something I've become so aware of now on
Hmm.
when it comes to entertainment, American entertainment. I because that's something else I didn't notice. I heard someone mention once, what's her name? Chimamanda. I can't think of her last name, but this writer, this African writer, and her mentioning how when she started writing that it was difficult for her to create a character that looked like herself because she was
Hmm.
so used to like a lot of the books she'd read. You'd have it would be a white male who'd be the main character. So it's like it was almost difficult for her to create stories that were different
Wow.
than what she'd seen. So that is something that I feel like is on my mind a lot these days, wanting to be a part of the entertainment industry, not just in terms of music, but I I love writing. I'd love to one day work with movies, stuff like that. So these are things my eyes are starting to pick up now. But
Hmm.
I don't think if not for 2020, I think I would have been living in this oblivion,
Wow.
because I've been blessed to be around. Like if someone's been being racist to me, I haven't quite noticed. I do notice like sometimes it's happened a couple of times with like older Caucasian couples, because my husband is white.
Hmm.
So where we get like they look at us out of the corner of our eyes, we go like to a restaurant or something, and
Hmm.
I my reaction is literally, oh, is that racism? Is that racism?
Did they do it? Did they do the racism to us?
I'm just like so.
Did we get the racist? I don't know.
And I do realize like because I don't want to make it sound like oh my gosh it's all jokes.
Yeah. No.
I really know that I am blessed that I don't that it's difficult for me to even point out, oh,
Yeah.
that person looked at me funny because I'm black. Like I am very blessed to have that experience,
Yeah.
and I'm not naive enough to think, especially I live in the South, which is probably why it's so amazing to me that I haven't experienced it much personally, or that
Yeah.
I haven't noticed it rather.
For sure.
But I'm not naive enough to think, oh, it's never ever gonna happen,
Hmm.
so,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, which sucks, right? It's like one day it's gonna happen, and I'll be here dealing with it. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
I don't think that we're ever gonna get on one page at the world. You know what I mean? You know how
Hmm.
everybody kind of wants everybody to not be racist and not be
Hmm.
misogynist, not be this, not be that, and it's just like I don't I think there's just too many people in the world that it's never gonna be all one thing. But I think that a little at a time we could chip away, shine some light on some darkness, and
Yeah, I agree with you there.
eventually we'll get to a point where the
It's
dummies,
it's better. It's
yeah, we'll
it's
just
better.
well the dummies will just be the dummies. It's like, well,
Yeah.
we know who they are. They're just the dummies, and it's fine. It's if you harbor hate for somebody because of the skin color or because of their gender or whatever,
Mhm.
you're an idiot. I'm
Because
sorry.
they're lighter or darker,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
blows my mind. That
Well,
is such.
and it's interesting too because my wife is mixed and she tells me stories of being made fun of because of her lightness. And then so like and then
Wow.
when we would come back to Ohio, we would notice that black couples would look at us out the side of their eye. So it's
Wow.
very
Yeah.
it's
Wow, wow,
interesting
wow.
how all of the and it only
It's
just
like darned if you do, darned if you don't.
it just highlights that we're humans and all
Mhm,
humans are just have the capacity of just of ignorance and
mhm.
silliness, and it doesn't matter if you're black, white, or Mexican, brown, whatever,
Yeah.
purple. It's like we all have the capacity to be evil, we all have the capacity to be beautiful, we all have the capacity to share love, and uh just it's just some people just suck.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
how it goes. And I don't think we're going to get rid of sucky people. I just think that we'll probably end up just shaming them into seclusion so they can go underground and organize underground so they can come back even stronger. No, that's
Wow. You really thought that through.
well, that's censorship. That's what I see as in censorship, right? Like if we
Mhm.
tell people you can't say that, and you can say this, as eventually those people who feel like they can't say the things that they want to say are gonna go find a community that does say those things, and then they're
Mhm.
gonna all say those things together, and they're gonna build more numbers. It's like you gotta let these
Wow.
people let it out. It's like letting air out of a valve, right? You get the pressure. We don't want it to explode, but we just let them get it out. Let them go on
Mhm.
4chan and talk about their stupid shit, so they have an outlet, so they don't like go and make an army of these
Mhm.
assholes. Anyways, that's strange. I don't know how we got all the way over here, but we're here.
Too hard.
Uh, you were talking earlier about you were just sort of discovering that your music is vulnerable.
Mm.
What was that? What was the thing that sort of clued you in and was like, oh, this is vulnerable, and this is I'm kind of like, I don't know if I should be sharing this much. A
Mm.
little apprehensive is what I picked up from you. I don't know if you're a little
Mhm.
apprehensive of sharing your vulnerabilities,
Oh,
but what was it that what was that flag that stuck up and was like, oh, this is, you know,
well, I think it was in preparation of that one performance that I said I got to do right before quarantine. Um, my sister, Asinte, who actually streams too,
yeah,
Asinte, and I were supposed to do this joint performance. So she had done it a couple of times, and she was like, "Hey, come over to my place, and you can play through um, the songs you're doing." So, which was a big deal for me because I think it had been a month and I'd made a bunch of songs and no one had ever heard them. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm playing them for someone for the first time. Okay, that's nice because
yeah.
for goodness sake, I'd love to share them.
Mm-hmm.
So I started playing this song of mine called Room. And for the first time, I don't know, she was sitting there listening to me, like I'm in her living room, there's a keyboard up, everything. As I was singing it, I think it was the first time I listened to the words. So
Hmm.
as I was listening, because the song was talking about there finally being room for me to be me. And as I was listening to the lyrics, I just suddenly felt like I was gonna like just start crying. And I just paused. I was like, whoa. Like I literally said, I was like, whoa. Like I was like, what's happening? And it was just now clicking to me. And I think because of that, I started actually going back and listening to some of the, because I normally just record on my phone, like ideas and stuff I get. So I went back on my phone. I was listening to some of the songs. I was reading some of the lyrics. I was like, oh my gosh, is this how I feel? Like, 'cause, like, it was the strangest thing. Like the
Yeah.
lyrics came out, and I was just like, okay, yeah. I was so paying so much attention to the fact that it's like, one, I was fighting it. I was like, get out of my way. I'm looking for other office jobs right now, you know?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
was so busy doing that. And then when the songs would come out, I'd be like, okay, just quickly come out so I can go back to what I'm doing. So I wasn't really paying attention. If
Yes.
there's anything I noticed, it was like, man, this music's not bad. Oh, look, I'm playing piano again. This is kind of cool. Sounds nice, you know? But that was it. So when I started going back and listening to the lyrics, it was like, is this what I want to share with people? I'm talking about like my heart, you
Yeah.
know, I'm talking about, oh my gosh, like I felt trapped in life. Oh my gosh, I felt I was just now realizing my own feelings, and I hadn't
Wow.
realized that leaving the job and immediately writing. I don't think it was just about, oh, it was time for music to come out. I think I just had a lot in me that was
Hmm.
like, you need to throw all this up,
Yeah.
really. So the music was like the vehicle to do that. So it took a while to get comfortable with the idea that I was going to be sharing like the depths of my heart with people if I played my music for them. Because my music only got more vulnerable after that. It
Wow.
was like as I accepted it,
You opened the
deeper stuff
door.
came out. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, can we stop? Like,
My
uh,
God, I love how you're talking about it like it's a separate entity that's outside of yourself. Like that this is someone else
it
that's sort of
feels like
stepping
it
in.
sometimes.
It's like your subconscious came out just to play and let you know what's going on. It's like,
Yeah, that's
I
what it
just
felt
want to let
like.
you know there's a lot going on in here, and maybe you should start addressing these these
Yeah.
subjects. I don't know. So why? I mean, you mentioned that you felt trapped. I mean, did you ever expound on that and understand why that you felt trapped?
Yeah. Um, I feel like
Besides the job, I
everything's
guess,
a
but
story. Oh yeah, yeah. Besides that, I just growing up in Nigerian culture. It's funny to be saying this and to be looking at my name, African Beep, down there. It's like African. Growing up in Nigerian culture, something about the culture is that you may have heard Africans say this, but like you grew up with parents who are like, there are only certain jobs that are acceptable. You can't call art a
yeah,
job. It's better now. They actually do now. Thank God,
this is
But
nice.
at first it was like, you got to be a doctor, you got to be a lawyer, you got to be
Hmm.
an accountant. There was this very short list
Yes.
of jobs. A doctor was at the top.
Hmm.
If you're a lawyer, hey, not bad.
Right.
Doctor, oh my God,
Yeah.
so I didn't fit into any of those boxes. And I spent
Mhm.
majority of my life trying to.
Wow.
And that wasn't the only box. There were all sorts of things. I kept feeling crazy because I'm very creative, but I didn't have anywhere to put this creativity. It's like, oh, so what? I love to write songs, or I can really sing, or I love fantasy and sci-fi, and I'd love to write those kinds of scripts and books. Like,
Yeah.
so it was like, so what? That doesn't fit into Alabama. That never fit into Nigeria. But now that I'm in America, the home of the free, land of the brave, it still doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So I realized I was living under a lot of people's expectations for me, and even expectations I had created for myself based on their expectations that weren't really who I was or what I wanted to do. So that was how I was trapped. I think letting go of that job to kind of open my mind to the thing that you tell kids, and I wasn't told this as a kid, but when at least I saw it in movies where the parents would tell the kids, you can be anything you want,
Yeah.
you can grow up and you could be an astronaut. Astronaut it's a very good job, and yet still wasn't on the list of jobs I could do in Nigeria. So,
You will not be an astronaut.
so yeah, I
I
think
I do get that. I do understand that because I feel like that's a very immigrant
mm,
mentality. You know what I mean? Like, because my mother had those same sort of expectations. Although she was a little bit lighter, she married my dad, who was like this big, tall, white American,
uh,
buffoon who whatever. R.I.P. Dad, but like it was like she's always been like, you need to go to college. You need to do, like make sure you go to college all through my life. And still to this day, she's just like, I wish you would just go to school and get your degree. And it's like, man, I already said what I'm doing. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing what I like doing. I'm not really interested in going back and trying to figure something new out. But I think that's that mentality of like, building a better life for your kids, and like your parents know that if we're going to a country like America, the doctor holds status, and you're gonna have a great
Yeah.
life. You're gonna be able to provide for your family, provide for your immediate and your extended family. And do you send money home to like aunties and stuff?
No, they're good.
Mm. Yeah, I just know
I don't want it to sound like, nah, they're good. I don't care about the no, nah.
I ain't worried about them no more. I'm in America, baby.
No. No, they're good for real. Like majority of a lot of my family's here too.
Oh, cool.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's that's always another thing too. It's like people who come over here are always sending money back. Like my aunt
Yeah.
sent money back to Mexico until she
Mhm.
died. Like she was just working to just keeping paying the bills down south, man. That's just how it works.
Yeah. I
You
mean, it's like that for some
yeah.
members of my family too. So
Yeah, you're sending
it's,
money back home. You taking care of people.
that's
That's why you came here, is to support your
yeah.
family. Yeah. It's just that I think it's just that protective nature of being parents, where it's just like, don't be an artist because you're sure to starve and die in the
Yeah.
streets like a dog.
I mean, then the funny thing is that I don't want to say they're not wrong, but I'm
No, no.
saying like, you know, I've been hearing lately just percentages of people who do make it, and even then the definition of make it is so different
Yeah.
for everybody. But doing something like music, or doing something like, let's say you want to be an actor, like I just heard the numbers for like only what is it, point zero something percent of actual actors in America are celebrities.
Yeah. Yeah.
That it's like a ridiculously
Right.
tiny, and the people who made it, they can't always explain to you how stuff fell into place. So there is that sense of, even to get there, you aren't in control of everything,
Mm-mm. This
so
is-
I think of being a doctor. You go to school, you study, and it's like a road that's been paved, and you can just go up that
mm,
road. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
there. So I do get that now as an adult, looking back at like my dad and my aunts and uncles saying like, no, you must become a doctor. You must do that. It was like,
Yeah.
yes, these, like my uncle actually said that to me when I was younger. He said, why do you want to pave a new road? There are roads already paved. Just follow something someone else has already done. And like, it's so weird how it makes so much logical sense,
Right.
you know?
Yes.
But it's like, I want to be one of the people who, because the roads that are paved were paved by someone. And when
Yeah.
they first paved it, it wasn't easy for them.
Right.
They were probably being called crazy, and now it's the norm? So
Exactly.
I am one who's more like, I like to be a paver. It's hard.
I
It's
want to.
hard, but
I want to
I want to. I
pave.
want to.
Why can't I pave? They're just people, right? They're just
Yeah.
people who went and paved their paths. Like I'm a person, I can pave.
Oh, but there's a Nigerian saying that goes with what you just said,
Oh,
and the
please.
saying is, they say, like for example, let me use, I don't know, because I feel like someone did say this once, but let's say Beyonce, like
Hmm.
what Beyonce is doing. They're like, oh, Beyonce is doing it. Does she have two heads? And it basically means like, is she that different from you that she's this
Hmm.
magical creature,
Right.
and you're not good enough because you're not a magical creature.
Right.
So it is like this. I
Right.
want to do what they do. Do they have two heads? I can do it too.
Right.
So,
Exactly. Exactly. I love that. Do they have two heads? No. You can do it too. Then let's go. That. I love that. I love that. I really do. Well, I know that you got to get going soon. So, if you don't mind, and if you're up to it, do you mind playing us a tune on an
yeah,
original
don't mind.
song?
I do not mind at all.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, cool. So I'm going to turn it over to African Beep here, and she's going to regale us with an original piece of music for everybody. And just remember, guys, she's being vulnerable. So keep it friendly.
No,
No,
no
everyone's
pressure.
no pressure. No pressure. Okay. I'm turning it over to African Beep, and thank you.
All right, I hope everybody can hear that. Yeah. So this song I'm gonna do is actually, I wouldn't really call it one of my most vulnerable ones, even though, well, I guess it is too. Anyway, it's called Breathe. And I particularly like this song because it's a very practical song for me. I always tell people before I play it that if you'd like to join in with me and breathe while we're doing the song, this is your opportunity. This is I created this song, or I made this song because I didn't know it at the time. It kind of just came out, but then I realized that it was actually a way to combat anxiety for me. So it's been proven in my life. I've played it, I've sung it during times where I'm the most anxious, and it's never failed to calm me down. So if you've had a rough day, or just a long week, long month, long last few years, some of us have had, then this song might help you. So you can go ahead and breathe with me. Breathe. Just breathe. Scaring off the things that haunt me, washing all the distress away, telling all the noise it can't stay, calming down my heart beat slowly. Breathe. Just breathe. Calling all the peace come my way. Clouds that cover me dissipate. The hope I need, come find me. Drive anxiety far from me. Do 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 do. Just breathe. Do 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 do. Just breathe. I picture the state of getting over. I'm gonna make it over. Over the restless night, breath fighting. Finally, it's over. Calling all the peace of my day, driving anxiety far from me. Breathe. Just breathe. Do 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 do. do, do, just breathe. Do, 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 do. Just breathe. Yeah. Just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. Ooh. Yeah, just breathe, yeah. Just breathe, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, just breathe, yes. Just breathe, breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you very much. That was wonderful. That was like, I think that's what we needed. Oh, thank you for those claps, mighty, mighty. Thank you so much. Oh, it's okay, Robbie. I wanted to know more about it. We can listen to beautiful music and talk. That's what going to a concert is almost sometimes. We got one last question for you before you have to get out of here. Is this song, "Just Breathe," is that going to be on an EP that's coming out soon? Ziggy wants to know.
Actually, no, it is not. I I have a well, I guess that is something I could promote. I don't have a date yet, but I am working on getting my music out there. I'm
Yes.
creating a 5 song EP. So, um, a couple of the songs people who are familiar with my channel might recognize,
Mm.
but I do have 3 completely new ones no one's ever heard.
Ooh.
You're gonna hear me doing a little bit of production and stuff like that. So,
Hey.
yeah, it just the feel of it wasn't a breathe kind of feel.
Mm.
It's more like maybe a dance kind of feel. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was just beautiful, and I love that you're working on music. I absolutely love what you. I love your story. It's just so amazing,
Thanks.
like that you're just. Uh, if you have time, one more. What brought you to Twitch? Were you a gamer? Like, did you know about Twitch? How did you end up here?
Well, actually, my husband is a gamer on Twitch and he's been on here for years. So I
Ah,
knew of it through
hmm,
him. I had no clue they did music on here.
yeah,
That was just, how did I even find that out? He mentioned it and I was like, music? I thought it was just gaming, you
yeah,
know? So he mentioned it. My other sister, Nimi Wari, she was starting to get into it and was telling me that, I really should do it. And I had kind of just been considering it over like the last year, but
hmm,
just decided to try it because I actually all the equipment I have, I actually done a fundraiser last year and
hmm,
I got this equipment through that fundraiser and I got it with the purpose of trying to gig, like trying to perform live,
hmm,
but COVID.
yeah,
So I was like, well, I've got this equipment. Let me try to do something with it.
hmm,
So it ended up being the equipment I'm using
yeah.
for Twitch. So
Well, that's good. I mean, it all worked out there. Meant to
yeah.
be here. Ziggy, by the
Really?
way, Ziggy, hi and good morning. I saw you before you went to bed, and now I'm seeing you right when you wake up.
Hi,
Welcome.
Ziggy. Hi, Samo.
African Beep has wedding day bangers just tucked away in the cuts, even though I'm against marriage at this time. Still want those
Wow.
butterflies. Oh, how dare you. Same old. Thank you for your input there. I will let you go, African Beep. I know you got to get going here. I so appreciate you coming on here and sharing your truths with us.
Man, I
Oh, please.
oh, I was just gonna say I've had a really great time. You are really good at asking questions. Like
Oh,
I
thank
don't
you.
just say that. I love watching interviews, so I have comparisons. But
Okay.
you really made me feel really comfortable and just you ask a lot of good questions to make me think, and that makes it more fun for me. So I really had a great time.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you. That's very nice of you. And I also want to tell you that I went and told Reina right after you told me how much you liked my email and how thorough I was. Because I went up to Reina, I was like, I've never been complimented like that. And she's like, oh, my little boy is growing up. Because you should have seen my email. I used to have her write my email sometimes because I was
Oh,
such a
really?
because I was just we speak English good is a legitimate representation of my understanding of the English language. So that is it. And so it used to be a mess. I've always had to consult with her because she has corporate mentality. She's worked in corporate, so she knows how to communicate very well and stuff. But
Structure emails and all that.
yes, well, she's just much smarter and prettier than me, so it really worked out in my benefit to marry her.
Oh,
I don't know what she's gotten out of the deal. I'm still trying to figure it out. But my goodness, I sure as hell hit the jackpot. African Beep, is there any last words you'd like to share with us before you bid us farewell?
oh well, I let me think. Well, I stream on Mondays. Well, today I'm going to be streaming in a couple hours. I'm going to be streaming at 6 p.m. Central. So, stream on Mondays at 6 p.m. Central and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. Central. So, if anybody's interested in hearing some originals and a few covers, I'm slowly building my very random cover list. So,
Yeah.
yeah, everybody should
What
go
drop
find it.
some covers that you do?
I just learned Water Runs Dry, Boys to Men. I've got what is
Ooh.
it? Always Been You, Shawn Mendes. It's
Okay.
so funny. I have a lot of guy covers. Because I sing kind of deep and it's just kind of fun for me. So yeah, very random songs.
Robbie is insisting that I use the new shout out thing. Is that the slash thing that I've been hearing about? It makes it quicker, you said? How does it make it quicker? Hold on, I'm gonna do it just because I want to have fun too. Oh, darn it.
I'm gonna type in chat while you're typing.
Unrecognized command because I suck. Yeah, I know. Okay, Robbie, I know. That's why I have mods. Uh, okay, all right. Love the originals though. Yes,
Oh,
love the
Ziggy.
originals too. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. We could do this all day, I'm sure, but you have things to do, and I appreciate you being here.
Thank you
And
for
wow,
having
oh, you're
me.
subbed. How did you sub? Did someone gift sub you? That's crazy.
Where? Who, me?
Yeah, you're subbed. I didn't even know you
Oh,
were subbed.
oh, oh, thank you, whoever.
Whoever did.
I don't know who it was.
I don't know who subbed you, but awesome.
Oh, thank
You
you.
now have Ric Flair. You can woo yourself across the lands of Twitch. African
Woo.
Beep, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And did you get to say your last goodbye? I don't know if you said your last word. Please
Yeah,
share your
yeah.
last
Well,
words with us.
just thank you everybody who was here and listened and thank you again, Mike. As I said, I really did have a good time.
Awesome. I'm very happy. Oh, I think you did say something. Okay. I'm just forgetful. Mighty Mighty, thank you so much for those biddies. Let's say goodbye to our guest, everybody. Give a round of applause to African Beep. Let's go. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Mighty Mighty with those 500 biddies. Thank you. Everybody, make sure you're going out there and following African Beep. Stay up to date with what she's doing. What a awesome human being. What just an awesome human. And does it show up now, Ziggy? Maybe it ran out. It ran out.